Robert Anthony Plant CBE is an English singer and songwriter. He was the lead singer and lyricist of the rock band Led Zeppelin from its founding in 1968 until their breakup in 1980. Since then he has had a successful solo career, sometimes collaborating with other artists such as Alison Krauss. Regarded by many as one of the greatest singers in rock music, he is known for his flamboyant persona and raw stage performances. Plant was born and brought up in the West Midlands area of England, where after leaving grammar school he briefly trained as a chartered accountant before leaving home at 16 years old to concentrate on singing with a series of local blues bands, including Band of Joy with John Bonham. In 1968, he was invited by Peter Grant and Jimmy Page to join the Yardbirds, which Grant and Page were attempting to keep going. The new version of the Yardbirds changed their name to Led Zeppelin, and from the late 1960s to the end of the 1970s the band enjoyed considerable success. Plant developed a compelling image as a charismatic rock and roll frontman, comparable to contemporaries such as Mick Jagger of the Rolling Stones, Roger Daltrey of The Who, Jim Morrison of The Doors, and Freddie Mercury of Queen. After Led Zeppelin dissolved in 1980, Plant continued to perform and record continuously on a variety of solo and group projects. His first well-known post-Led Zeppelin project was the Honey Drippers, alongside former Led Zeppelin guitarist Jimmy Page, among others. In 1988, he released the solo album Now and Zen, from which came the hit singles Tall Cool One and Ship of Fools. In the 1990s, another reunion project named Page and Plant released 2 studio albums and a live album from an MTV Unplugged performance, as well as winning the Grammy Award for Best Hard Rock Performance in 1998 for Most High. In 2007, Plant began a collaboration with bluegrass artist Alison Krauss, releasing the album Raising Sand, which won the Grammy Award for Album of the Year in 2009 and produced the hit song Please Read the Letter, which won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year the same year. In 2010, he revived the Band of Joy, which shared its name with an early band he performed with in the 1960s, and in 2012 formed a new band, the Sensational Space Shifters, followed by a reunion with Alison Krauss in 2019. In 1995, Led Zeppelin were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Rolling Stone ranked Plant as one of the 100 best singers of all time and was the top pick for the greatest lead singer in a 2011 Readers' Poll. Hit Parader named Plant the greatest metal vocalist of all time. Plant was named one of the 50 Great Voices by NPR. In 2009, Plant was voted the greatest voice in rock in a poll conducted by UK classic rock radio station Planet Rock. Billboard ranked him number 4 on their list of the 50 greatest rock lead singers of all time, 2023. Robert Anthony Plant was born on August 20, 1948, in the Black Country town of West Bromwich, Staffordshire, England, to Robert C. Plant, a qualified civil engineer who worked in the Royal Air Force during the Second World War, and Annie Celia Plant, a Romany woman. He grew up in the Haley Green area of Halesowen, Worcestershire. Plant's early blues influences included Johnson, Booker White, Skip James, Jerry Miller, and Sleepy John Estes. Plant had various jobs while pursuing his music career, one of which was working for the major British construction company Wimpey in Birmingham in 1967 laying tarmac on roads. He also worked at Woolworths in Halesowen Town for a short period of time. He cut 3 obscure singles on CBS Records and sang with a variety of bands, including the Crawling King Snakes, which brought him into contact with drummer John Bonham. They both went on to play in the Band of Joy, merging blues with newer psychedelic trends. In 1968, guitarist Jimmy Page was in search of a lead singer for his new band and met Plant after being turned down by his first choice, Terry Reid, who referred him to a show at a teacher training college in Birmingham, where Plant was singing in a band named Hopsweedle. In front of Page, Plant sang Jefferson Airplane's Somebody to Love, leading Page to end his search. As recalled by Plant and Page, Plant, I was appearing at this college when manager Peter Grant and Jimmy turned up and asked me if I'd like to join the Yardbirds. I knew the Yardbirds had done a lot of work in America, which to me meant audiences who would want to know what I might have to offer, so naturally I was very interested. Page, when I auditioned him and heard him sing, I immediately thought there must be something wrong with him personality-wise or that he had to be impossible to work with, because I just could not understand why, after he told me he'd been singing for a few years already, he hadn't become a big name yet. So I had him down to my place for a little while, just to sort of check him out. And we got along great. No problems. With a shared passion for music, Plant and Page immediately developed a strong relationship and began their writing collaboration with reworkings of earlier blues songs. Initially dubbed the New Yardbirds in 1968, The band soon came to be known as Led Zeppelin. The band's eponymous debut album hit the charts in 1969 and is widely credited as a catalyst for the heavy metal genre. Plant has commented that it is unfair for people to think of Zeppelin as heavy metal, as almost a third of their music was acoustic. In 1975, Plant and his wife Maureen, now divorced 26, were seriously injured in a car crash in Rhodes, Greece. This significantly affected the production of Led Zeppelin's seventh album Presence for a few months while he recovered and forced the band to cancel the remaining tour dates for the year. In July 1977, his son Karak died at the age of 5 while Plant was on Led Zeppelin's concert tour of the United States. Plant retreated to his home in the Midlands of England and, for months afterward, questioned his future. Plant began writing song lyrics with Led Zeppelin during the making of Led Zeppelin II, in 1969. According to Jimmy Page, the most important thing about Led Zeppelin II is that up to that point I'd contributed lyrics Robert hadn't written before, and it took a lot of ribbing to get him into writing, which was funny. And then, on the second LP, he wrote the words of thank you. He said, "I'd like to have a crack at this and write it for my wife." Plant's lyrics with Led Zeppelin were often mystical, philosophical and spiritual, alluding to events in classical and Norse mythology, such as Immigrant Song, which refers to Valhalla and the Viking conquests. However, the song No Quarter is often misunderstood to refer to the god Thor. The song actually refers to Mount Thor, which is named after the god. Another example is the Rain Song. Plant was influenced by J.R.R. Tolkien, whose book series inspired lyrics in some early Led Zeppelin songs. Most notably, The Battle of Evermore, Misty Mountain Hop, No Quarter, Ramble On and Over the Hills and Far Away contain verses referencing Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Conversely, Plant sometimes used more straightforward blues themes dealing with sex, as in the Lemon Song, Trampled Underfoot about giving into sexual temptation, and Black Dog narrated by a man obsessed with a woman. Welsh mythology forms a basis of Plant's interest in mystical lyrics. He grew up close to the Welsh border and would often take summer trips to Snowdonia. Plant bought a Welsh sheep farm in 1973, and began taking Welsh lessons and looking into the mythology of the land, such as Black Book of Carmarthen, Book of Taliesin, etc. Plant's first son, Karak, was named after the Welsh warrior Caradocus. The song Bron-yr-Aur Stomp is named after the 18th century Welsh cottage Bron-yr-Aur, owned by a friend of his father. It later inspired the song Bron-yr-Aur. The songs Misty Mountain Hop, That's the Way, and early dabblings in what would become Stairway to Heaven were written in Wales and lyrically reflect Plant's mystical view of the land. Critic Steve Turner suggests that Plant's early and continued experiences in Wales served as the foundation for his broader interest in the mythologies he revisits in his lyrics. While legendary Led Zeppelin singer Robert Plant talked with Classic Rock about the death of his 5-year-old son Karak, that died of stomach virus in July 1977. The tragedy was devastating for the musician and inspired many songs like All My Love Blue Train, Walking into Clarksdale and I Believe. Well guys, what are your thoughts? Do tell us. Thanks for watching.